Every summer, the football world goes crazy. One player, one rumor, one tweet, and suddenly, millions of fans believe a transfer is about to happen. News channels explode. Social media goes into chaos. Club supporters refresh their phones every few minutes, waiting for one magical sentence. Here we go. But here's the question almost nobody asks. Who actually starts these transfers? Is it the player, the club, the manager, or is there someone else, quietly controlling everything behind the scenes? Because football transfers don't begin inside stadiums. They begin inside private offices, luxury hotels, conference rooms, late-night phone calls, encrypted messages, and billion-dollar negotiations that fans never get to see. Every year, football clubs spend billions of dollars buying players. Some transfers become legends, others become disasters, but almost every single one follows a hidden process. A process that most fans never understand. Today, we're opening that door. Welcome to the secret business behind football transfers. Every transfer window feels like chaos. Rumors appear every hour. Journalists race to break the biggest stories. Fans argue online. Players stay silent. Managers avoid answering questions. And clubs deny everything. Until suddenly, the deal becomes official. It almost looks random, but it isn't. Behind every successful transfer, there are months, sometimes years, of planning, scouting departments, financial experts, lawyers, agents, executives, medical teams, marketing departments, even sponsorship considerations. One transfer can involve dozens of people, millions of dollars, and negotiations that continue for weeks. Football today isn't just a sport. It's one of the biggest entertainment businesses on earth. And nowhere is that more obvious than the transfer market. Most fans believe transfers happen like this. A manager wants a player. The club pays. The player signs. Done. Simple. Reality? It's nothing like that. Long before the first rumor appears online, someone has already started working. Scouts have watched the player, sometimes for years. Data analysts compare hundreds of statistics. Medical history is reviewed. Contract situations are monitored. Age, salary, potential resale value, commercial appeal, even personality. Everything matters. Then comes the biggest question. Can the club actually afford him? Because buying a player isn't just paying the transfer fee. There's the salary, signing bonuses, agent commissions, performance bonuses, image rights, taxes, insurance, legal costs, sometimes relocation expenses. A player advertised as an €80 million signing can easily cost over €150 million across the length of the contract. That's why clubs don't simply buy footballers. They buy long-term financial commitments. And every commitment carries risk. A career-ending injury, poor performances, bad chemistry, manager changes, unexpected competition. One failed transfer can damage a club for years, which is exactly why transfers move much slower than fans imagine. Now let's talk about the people most fans never notice. Football agents. When people hear the word agent, they usually imagine someone making phone calls, negotiating salaries, signing paperwork. But modern football agents do far more than that. Many discover talented teenagers before professional clubs do. Some help families relocate. Others arrange sponsorship deals, media appearances, legal advice, financial planning, career strategy. For many players, an agent becomes far more than a businessman. He becomes an advisor. Sometimes, almost family. But agents also represent business. And business means negotiation. Their job isn't only finding clubs. It's finding opportunities, better contracts, higher salaries, longer agreements, bigger commissions. Every successful deal benefits multiple people. The player, the selling club, the buying club, and often, the agent as well. That's why transfer windows become incredibly complex. Because every side wants the best possible outcome. And those goals don't always match. But then, football changed. Years ago, agents simply represented players. Today, some agents have become more powerful than entire football clubs. They don't represent just one player. They represent dozens, sometimes hundreds, young talents, established stars, managers, even coaches. Imagine this. One agent represents a world-class striker. Another agent represents a goalkeeper. Another, a rising teenage superstar. Now imagine, all three players are being discussed by the same club. Suddenly, that agent isn't negotiating one transfer. He's influencing an entire squad. And that's exactly why the world's biggest clubs pay close attention to who represents a player. Because sometimes that you're not negotiating with one footballer, that you're negotiating with an entire network. Relationships become everything. trust becomes currency. Point 1 Successful transfer can open the door for 5 more. Point 1 Failed negotiation can damage relationships for years. That's why football isn't only about talent, that it's about connections. The stronger your network, the more opportunities appear. And sometimes, the biggest deal isn't the player on the pitch. It's the person sitting in the office. Now imagine that a club wants to sign one player. Most fans think the club simply calls the other club, agrees on a price, signs the contract, done. Reality, that's only the beginning. Before any official offer is made, there are conversations, private meetings, phone calls, video conferences, lawyers reviewing documents, financial teams calculating budgets, medical staff preparing examinations, marketing departments estimating shirt sales, even sponsors sometimes evaluate how valuable a player could become for the club's global image. Every detail matters. The transfer fee, the payment structure, will the money be paid immediately, or over 5 years? Performance bonuses, Champions League bonuses, goal bonuses, appearance bonuses, sell-on clauses, release clauses, image rights, contract length, salary increases. Every sentence inside the contract can be worth millions. That's why negotiations sometimes last for weeks, or even months. Not because clubs can't agree, but because everyone wants the best possible deal. One signature can change a player's entire future, and millions of dollars depend on every single page. Here's something most fans never see. Not every transfer fails because of money. Sometimes, everything is agreed. The clubs agree. The player agrees. The salary is agreed. The contract is printed. The medical is scheduled. Everyone believes the transfer is done. Then, something unexpected happens. The medical reveals a serious concern. A club changes its financial plans. Another team suddenly enters the race. A manager changes his mind. A player decides to stay. Or simply, time runs out before the transfer window closes. Months of negotiations disappear in a single day. Fans only see one headline: transfer collapsed. But behind those 2 words, there may have been hundreds of hours of work, thousands of emails, dozens of meetings, and millions of dollars that never moved. Football history is full of transfers that came within hours, sometimes even minutes, of becoming reality, but they never happened, and nobody remembers how close they actually were. But before any transfer becomes official, something else happens first. A rumor. One sentence, one post, one report, and suddenly, the entire football world is talking. Millions of fans refresh social media. Sports websites race to publish updates. Television panels begin debating. Podcasts analyze every possibility. And supporters start imagining their club's future before a single document has even been signed. But have you ever wondered, where do these rumors actually come from? Sometimes, they come from clubs. Sometimes, from agents. Sometimes, from journalists with trusted sources. And sometimes, from people who simply want to influence the market. Because information has value. A leaked rumor can change public opinion, increase pressure on a club, attract interest from another team, or even strengthen a player's negotiating position. In modern football, news travels almost as fast as the game itself. And that's why transfer windows don't just happen on the pitch. They happen online. Over the last few years, one simple phrase has become famous across the football world. Here we go. For millions of fans, those 3 words mean one thing: the deal is almost done. Not because the transfer has been officially announced, but because trusted reporting has reached its final stage. It shows something remarkable about modern football. Fans don't only follow clubs anymore. They follow information, updates, negotiations, transfer insiders. The transfer window has become entertainment on its own. Every rumor creates hope. Every update creates debate. Every confirmation creates celebration. And every failed deal creates disappointment. Football today isn't just 90 minutes on the weekend. It's a story that continues every single day. So, who really controls football transfers? Is it the clubs, the managers, the players, the agents, the journalists? The answer is all of them. Because modern football transfers aren't controlled by one person. They're shaped by an entire network. A network built on trust, relationships, timing, business, strategy, and billions of dollars. Every transfer you celebrate, every signing you criticize, every deadline day surprise, is only the final chapter of a much longer story. A story filled with conversations you'll never hear, meetings you'll never see, and decisions that happen long before the official announcement. The next time your favorite club signs a superstar, don't just look at the transfer fee. Think about everything that happened before the photo with the shirt. Because the real transfer was won behind closed doors. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden side of football, you're going to love what's coming next. Because football is full of stories that most fans never hear. The money, the politics, the rivalries, the secrets, and the business that powers the world's biggest sport. If you want documentaries that go beyond the headlines, Subscribe to Game Narrative. Because every match has a story, but the biggest stories often happen before the whistle is ever blown. See you in the next documentary.